Today, because you weren't on time, the chairman had to pick the proxy. So since Ara isn't here, then he had to pick Bayu. Okay, so Bayu will secretary and the chairman is Gary. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning. Actually, on today's daily hangout talk board, I'd like to discuss about doing following up about all procedures first.
Okay.
Okay. So the first all procedures is reservation coaching by Chris, and maybe I'd like to ask Cynthia and how it's going. Is it still happen? What is the progress?
For the coaching video, I think because today my space is off, so we want to make the coaching video today. But two days later, 2 days ago, we made the video with I am Master Legal, made the video with Mas Chris. We made two videos.
Okay. So it's running well.
Yes,
Okay, that's
really
great.
well.
Okay. So yes, please. Sir.
Just say the chair recognizes Jake.
Yes, please. Chairman recommends Jake.
Okay. I would like to ask the chairman. Do we expect this actually to be an ongoing process, or is this a one-off process?
I think
It's in discussion.
okay. So
Oh, sorry.
So my question to the floor is: do we expect this to be a one-time video, or is it an ongoing process?
Yeah, we have made two videos, but yeah, only two videos. Yesterday we didn't make any videos.
So may I ask? This is the end of coaching registration. Is it
No,
finished?
because yesterday I asked Mas Chris, we have still need more videos, and he said yes, we will make other videos together.
Okay. So yes.
Then,
Okay. Yes. Please.
okay, I would then suggest to the chair to put as a matter of new business. Chris needs to create a vision for how he would like to continue the video training program.
Okay, so please, Mr. Secretary. Okay, so I think it's done. It's still any discussion about the first all business?
No.
Okay. So I think it's done. So let's move to second all business about Google Maps pin. I think this is still ongoing because I'm still take over the content on Stockboard. I still manage how to create the pin location for data content. Okay, so next to the third all business about result review for handling response method. I think yesterday we have discussion and we have a conclusion that result is not covered on export. Okay, I think it is clear. Maybe any discussion about this? No. Okay. Yes.
Mr. Chairperson,
Yes.
as your I'll act as an advisor in this case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Please.
So, Mr. Chairperson, if the old business is finished, then ask the secretary to remove it from the OKR papers. Yeah.
Okay. So
Which-
I think on only third business only about result review.
Okay.
Okay, it's done. So let's move on for all business. Creating training video for how to check prices on the new topic. I think yesterday we have to do it, but how is the video? Is it uploaded on YouTube or not? Something like that?
This is related to this one, creating video index format. So we already put it in the video index.
Already, yeah.
Yeah. So it's uploading yesterday, but the link will be insert here. So this is the example. This is I asked Chris to put the link to the video instead.
Okay.
So it will be like this. This is a Gani promotion review example this video, and then when there's another subject, it will be the link would be this after this subject. I will upload it here today.
Okay. Yes, it's very nice. Is it still continue the?
Whole business continues because it hasn't been finished yet, so it remains there.
Okay, so it's still ongoing. Okay, so I think it's keep on there. Okay, so I think it's done. Any discussion about this about this our business? Okay, okay. As if no, let's continue to the leadership rotation. So I think it is running well. It is. Yes, please.
Mr. Chairperson, so for the leadership rotation, my specific request is that everybody on the team go up. Mr. Secretary, if you can go up just a little bit down. There is a table here where you can fill out your name for a rotation on chairperson.
Oh, yeah,
So we filled it out so far, but I think Ara hasn't filled it out. And I'm not sure also about Rizal. This is why I asked for everybody to fill out their own time, because Rizal is doing an afternoon shift. So I think this is still ongoing business, Mr. Chairperson, because I don't see full participation
Oh
yet.
yeah, okay, I see. Okay. So it's
What is this?
this is the last the previous
Oh,
schedule.
March?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, April. Thank you. You have to recognize.
Oh yeah. This Mr. Secretary to change the month. Okay, very good. Okay, do we have discussion about this? Cynthia? No?
No, but I need a discussion about
Yes?
my status, like I'm in a squad 3 or squad
Oh,
4.
okay. I understand what you concern, but I will finish the discussion about all business first, and then we move to on the new business. Okay.
Okay.
So wait a moment, right? Okay, so on the leadership rotation, just like that. Okay, so on the next all business is proxy list. I think it is clear. Yes, it's clear enough. So maybe any discussion about this?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Secretary.
Yes,
I'd like to have a discussion. Perhaps this can go on new business. I'd like to have an area. Oh, it's already there. Create Squad 4 SLAs. Because I think some of these things are useful for all people in the squad to understand, and they should never be removed from old business. They should just be put at the very top. For example, today we had a proxy decision because the secretary wasn't here, and and then we had to decide who would be the next secretary. So in this particular case today,
Yes.
we looked at Wayana wasn't here, and then when we looked for Shinta wasn't here.
Okay.
Looked for Ara wasn't here, so then we had to bump then to Shintia. We looked at Shintia's proxy, it was Ara, and after Ara was Bayu. So then this is why we made the decision to make Bayu the secretary today. I'd like to have a proposal, and it's already on the new business,
Yes.
to have SLAs within the group,
Okay.
and then that way these remain as constant guidelines for us to understand the leadership structure.
we should create the
Oh, wait.
SLA.
Okay, so this is the secretary.
We should create the SLA.
So, yes, please, sir.
I propose just an SLA section by you at the moment, Mr. Secretary, and then as we develop new habits in the team, then we just put it up. This will be a very similar format to your video index. As there is new subjects, like what is our content SLA? What is the content service level that we do for Google Map hymns? That can go onto the Squad 4 content SLA. What is the SLA for leadership? This is a proxy list, and that goes into the leadership. So essentially, it's an open list, and then we put new agreements that have been agreed by everybody and ratified by the entire team onto that list, so that we are clear, not just now, but when the team grows bigger,
Yes.
what our culture is.
So I have a question. I think so.
Mhm.
So when we put this new SLA to agreement.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I propose that. Okay, Mr. Secretary is already creating a framework for the Squad 4 SLAs, and we can vote it in right now actually because I think we have some material. So if the secretary will go ahead and kindly open the Squad 4 SLA.
Okay.
Please create a table for and on the top columns create one heading for chapter, and on the other heading create just SLA. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
And then please, Mr. Secretary, then create rows for content and leadership. So if I can walk everyone through, let's say the first one is leadership.
Yes.
So on leadership, my motion is to move then the agreed upon proxy list as our first SLA on the Squad 4 SLAs. And then my motion is then to move the content Google Map pinning to this sheet as well. And okay, and so then as the next item of business, I think we can just copy that proxy list over to this table, and then we can copy the content, the map. Anybody who joins the team later will be very clear of what we do. And anytime somebody needs to make a decision, they don't need to ask questions anymore. This has already been agreed. So we won't need to ask, who is this person's proxy? How are we making a decision on that? Okay, so if that's okay, I think a condition right now. We do not have Wayana, and we do not have Rizal, and we do not have Ara. So, if Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I propose a vote, and I motion for a vote on adding the SLAs to the Squad 4 OKRs. I propose that I will carry Wayana's vote. I will vote for Wayana, and Rizal will be voted by Cynthia, and Ara will be voted by you, Mr. Gunny.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So.
Please set up a vote.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, I motion that this new framework become a new Squad 4 SLA. So, who in favor to this new framework?
I think it's a second. You have to ask for a second.
Oh, okay. Do we have a second?
You second.
Okay. Okay. So the two person second this motion. So who the favor?
All in favor, please raise your hand.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. So,
So the motion carries, and it's 100% vote because all the proxies have also voted. Okay, passed. Okay, Mr. Secretary, in that particular case, I would then ask that old business, we remove the proxy list from old business, and we remove Google Map pins from old business because it is our priority on our SOAs now.
Okay. So I think it is done for all business. It is okay. So let's move on the new business. Okay. So the first new business is about the training guide for Squad 4. Is it?
Yes, sir. No, those are different. Yeah.
Oh, it's different. Okay. So what is the training guide for Squad 4?
Okay.
Okay. So please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. I also propose this. If you do put in new business, please hashtag your name on it. It becomes much easier then for future people to understand. Can I make a motion?
Yes,
I make a
please.
motion that any new business needs to be tagged with your own name. That way it makes it clear for the secretary when they're announcing new business to know who to address to explain this new business. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Okay, it's been seconded.
Okay.
Okay, great. And let's put it to a vote.
Okay. So who on the favor on this new first business to add the tag on new business? Okay, I think.
Cynthia is not voted. Then all opposed.
Sorry.
All opposed. All the people who do not favor it.
Maybe we need to once more vote. No.
Okay, let's try it. Yeah.
Okay,
So let me walk through the vote. So when we conduct a vote, we would say that there has been a motion and a second, right? So it's clear that it's a voting material, and we will conduct a vote.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion of tagging yourself whenever you add a new order of business with a hashtag in your name, please vote in favor now. Okay, and all opposed, all against the motion, please raise your hand. Okay, so then the motion, and then you would announce the motion passes,
Okay.
and we will add it to the SLAs.
Okay, so the motion is passed. So I think it is become a new rules for us. If you want to put new business, you have to take your name on the up of the new business.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. So then, Mr. Secretary, if you would kindly then tag my name to the training guide for Squad 4, that was my proposal. Okay. All right. So if we open that up, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Secretary, you take a look at that. My proposal for the training guide is essentially this. I think we need to develop a plan for sending information and knowledge to the candidates that are undergoing training. This has not been developed yet, so I apologize for it. I would like to ask the Secretary to search on paper for Cynthia Training Guide. That would be on the general search on paper, please. Cynthia Training Guide. Oh, it has not been shared with Emil yet. So, okay, all right, we will go to. Thank you very much. Reservation Journal. Mr. Secretary, can you please open Reservation Journal? Yes. Okay, so this is my proposal for training new candidates at Bukit Vista. So there should be a dashboard at the very top, and what we propose to put in this dashboard is essentially a knowledge resource and a learn or a teach request and feedback. So for example, Cynthia will be coming up for leading a squad meeting very soon. So I am putting in a learn request for Cynthia, and I'm giving her a knowledge resource to learn how to lead a democratically driven meeting. So that's an example of a learn request. A few days ago, Mas Chris has put in learn requests also for conversion on reservations and also understanding listing families, and we've asked Cynthia for her feedback. This system, I believe, will be very valuable to the teachers and also to the students involved, because the students can give feedback on how to teach better, and then the teachers can also prescribe learning resources to students for them to understand better. I put an example at the very bottom, if the Secretary can scroll down just a little bit. This is an example of, for example, something that is triggered by, just up a little bit more, by Cynthia, for example. She can say, I don't know how to lead a meeting, so she can put in a teach request, and then she can tag me and say, please send me learning materials so that I may lead a meeting with confidence. So that's an example of what I propose, and I don't propose to make any decisions at this moment. I'm just announcing this as an order of just to keep the squad aware that we have this process in place.
Okay, so I asked to think that
Yes.
it's so training about, so this framework is should be on the new paper journal on new person.
Yes, this would be on essentially the daily journal for any new candidate, and this is a way for essentially the candidate to ask for help and ask for training, and then for also the mentor to prescribe training. We are using a system of not doing one-on-ones anymore. We're using a system of creating scalable training resources. And so essentially, if I see that a candidate has a deficiency in a certain subject, then I create the lesson by video for that, and then I prescribe that video for the candidate to learn. So the reason behind that is we become more scalable that way, and we do not take up as much resource time from a mentor to teach the thing. But we still keep very coordinated and accurate mentorship.
Okay, so I think this is very good. So we hope that it's running well, no friction at all. Okay, so maybe let's. Any other discussion about this framework? No? Oh yes, please.
I would suggest for anyone who posts a video here or created a video also to update into the video index. So in the future, instead of giving just one video, or we only refer to this one document. Like if the learning request is listing family conversion minded, please check on the learning video index about listing family conversion minded. Then the candidate will search within this document. So if the candidate see that there's another subject that's related to what they want to learn, the learning can be developed.
Okay, please, sir.
Okay, as a suggestion also to, this is addressed to Mr. Bayu, I would suggest that we can actually vote and put that in as an SLA, perhaps either today or at a future date when everybody is here. But I think this is a really good practice and it should be repeated to the other members in the squad. Do we want to vote on it? I would like to put up for discussion. Do we want to vote it in now, or do we want to wait for everybody who gets here to vote it in?
Okay, so my opinion is I think we need to gather more team members, so we have to put this into the vote. But I think it is a very good system. I think we just pending it. Maybe tomorrow or 2 days later we have to discuss this again. But keep on a new business. Okay, please.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. Then I would suggest that the secretary record that as a new order of business for how we create a new SLA for learning. Okay, very good.
So the next new business is privacy level of a new training videos. So what is the conclusion? I think yesterday we already discussed this, but I don't get the point. I don't get the conclusion. What is it? So, okay, sir.
Okay, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the discussion is actually about the privacy of videos.
Okay.
I do believe that it's easier to share the videos and to distribute the videos if they are sent to public. I do understand there could be some proprietary material in the videos that we might not want to share with the rest of the world.
Okay.
But I do need that training videos to have effortless and frictionless ways of being shared and reshared and referred to. So my intention right now is to set the training videos to public, and so that way we can maximize the. We do not create any frictions for any student or any person who wants to refer to a video.
Okay. So I think let's make a agreement that this. Oh, sorry. Oh yes, please, Cynthia. Yes.
Okay. Actually, I would just like make a suggestion. Like in the my paper before, like it would be better if the title of the video in YouTube, also will deal with the same material, like in the BV index, because I think the impact or the benefit is not just for us, it's not just for BV's new candidate. We don't ever know that maybe in the outside, because we upload it in YouTube, like maybe it will help others, like it will help any others outside with the same case.
Yes.
Maybe they are in a reservation thing or they are looking for insight and they found our videos. It will help others first, rather than be people with this reservation group, one reservation group. Maybe it will be more help.
Yes. Okay. So okay. Very good suggestion, Cynthia. So I think I'd like to ask Mr. Secretary to put new information on this new business to. Sorry. Okay. So maybe we have to put a new title, same with the material. So and maybe put a little more information on description. Okay.
So
Yes. Please sit
And
down.
I think it will also help to increase the subscriber of Bukit Vista as well.
Oh.
Chris is a subscriber of Bukit Vista.
Increase.
Increase
Increase.
subscriber.
Increase.
Okay. So very good. Okay. Very good. Okay, is there any discussion about this new business?
All good.
No? Okay, all good. Okay, so let's move to other new business is from Mas Bayu Learning Video Index format proposal to presented May 14. So please, Mas Bayu, can you explain it?
Yeah. Okay. So this is this business basically because we want to unlist the video because we don't want it to be public. So we create a learning video index so it will make it easier to search later. Okay. So if we want to put it public, then do we still need the video index or not?
Oh, good question.
So this is become a discussion about the learning video index. So okay, please sir. Yes.
Okay, I think the index will still be good. I think it's good to have a central resource and then to be able to tag whatever. I think because if, let's say, for example, in the future we have more mentors and we have more people, how is anybody going to know that we have a training video for that? So having an index where we centralize all our video learning is still very valuable. Making something public, I think, is a philosophical discussion, and perhaps it cannot be done just in a simple squad meeting. Making something public either will be, yes, we lead leadership by openness and transparency, or does the concern of proprietary material and special techniques and knowledge that is internal to Bukit Vista, is that more important than sharing it out? Currently, I think that's a pretty big discussion for just a squad meeting. But let's say for the moment, I still think an index will be very helpful for a trainer to be able to look down and see, okay, this particular candidate has no knowledge about how to do reservations well, and they can pick a video out, and then they can deposit the video or tag the candidate on that video and say, please continue.
Okay. So I think it's supposed to be keep on the new business because the other team member is not here because okay, so we wait tomorrow to discuss again about this learning video index. So I think we going to next to new business about can we move to leadership? Review our key objective.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Chairperson, we are now over time.
Oh yeah.
Shall we ask for a time extension?
Yes. I asked to maybe 15 minutes more time to sync up.
I second the motion.
Oh yeah. Okay, so whoever to.
Oh, it's okay. Once it's been seconded on a time extension,
Oh yeah.
you don't need a vote.
Okay. So we extend 15 minutes for sync up today. Okay, so let's continue to about review our key objective. So I think it's from you.
Yes,
So let's explain.
Mr. Chairman, I would need 100% attendance for tomorrow's sync up because tomorrow is May 15th, and that's when we have decided, if the Secretary can scroll down a little bit, that we will look at our objective 3. Everybody will vote on every person, and this is where we need 100% attendance. So we need to have everybody here tomorrow for the sync up to put in the votes.
Okay. So I think it's pretty clear. Okay, so we wait until tomorrow to discuss again about review about our key objective. Okay, so maybe next to develop squad 4, I think it is pretty clear. So we don't have Alright, so I think is this still need any discussion about this? Yes, please, sir.
I just propose that we move from old business to new business, or from new business to old business now because we've covered that.
Okay. Okay, so please, Mr.
And oh yes, Mr. Secretary, if I may, there seems to be a broken link. It says untitled for some reason. There, I prefer if it would say Squad 4 SLA.
Okay, very good. Okay, I think it's done. So next to other new business, she asks for feedback or improvement tips about the format of the meetings.
Yes. Okay. So, Mr. Secretary, I'm just asking for a quick, just good or bad, and why from everybody here. I guess the proxies will just go by whoever is here. I'm asking for Cynthia basically to vote to just give her feedback right now about feedback and improvement about the format of the meetings. So if the secretary, if the chairman will allow, I'd like to conduct the survey.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thank you very much. Cynthia, do you like the format of these meetings?
Okay. For the first time, this is the first meeting with this format that I have attended because in my previous workplace, I didn't have any kind of this format for meeting. In the first place, maybe it will be a little bit confused because like we have to like I have motion or I setting the motion, but I think yeah it's more structured, and then the good thing here that everyone can speak their mind.
Yeah.
Everyone can tell what is their frictions here without any burden. But yeah, the little I think, but it's a really like when we have to like emotion or yeah that things. But everything is actually good because I like the flow of the meeting.
Yes, I'm agree too with Cynthia. This new format of the meeting. I like this format because this is pretty clear and this is give our right to speak. Everyone have the right to speak, and also it is become more structured. This paper is give me guideline to what is the first thing we have to discuss, what's next. This is very good, I think. So,
okay, all right, to the Bayu.
Okay, for me it's actually I don't know what meeting is this.
this is daily sync up.
The squad for
Daily sync-up?
Yes.
oh no, this is the squad for OKR sync up.
We done it yesterday.
We're doing it every day to get the practice in.
Okay. So now squad 4 have 2 sync-ups every day. One for the squad sync-up and one for this
Oh, I
PR
wasn't
and
aware.
one for operation.
Okay, is that the case?
Yeah. At 11 we do operation sync-up. So we prepare which guest who handle who and operational stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. What I know is the operational sync up is led by Mo. So
Anyone that's available.
So
Okay, all right. Any other comments, buddy?
Okay, so I have a suggestion to put a schedule here. What meeting we do at what time and what is the topic. So because after this we still need to do operational sync-up. That would be confusing, and operational is not covered in this. So we don't really talk about what we are going to do today in terms of daily operation. Who's becoming air support or reservation, offering hosting with guests. So I think I suggest to agree on the SLA for a schedule, meeting schedule.
Okay. Can I have a proposal then from Bayu? Should we then should we add the operational meeting into this, or should we have it separate, or should we have actually an operational meeting that doesn't involve so many cast characters? So, for example, Gani and Bayu, I don't know if you guys need to be in the operational sync-up every day. I think it's mostly in air support and reservation issues, right? So, my understanding is that Bayu, if you can, please suggest a format to, yes, reduce the overhead on meetings by creating something that is functional for operational, but also is good for project keeping the squad on the OKR path. Okay, any other feedback?
So yeah, I agree for the new procedure. So I think tomorrow we have to discuss again about this. So what is the schedule of this separate?
Yes. Okay. And then to Bayu, any other feedback, Bayu?
No, so
Okay, great.
So I think any discussion? No? Okay, so I think it's done. So next move to new business about update to squad for PRM. Some comments okay. Okay, so I'm work on this. So I have give some time to fill in the spot for PRM. So it's still going. Okay. Yes, please, sir.
May I ask what the completion date would be?
tomorrow.
When will? We'll discuss in 2 days. Oh, okay. So it'll be finished by tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the participant of this squad for PRM is me, Ara, and Mo.
Okay.
So we work together to complete all PRM. Okay, so I think let's move to the last new business is about what is the Cynthia responsibilities. Okay, so maybe who will okay, so please Cynthia explain what is the responsibility. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, here I'm a little bit confused about my role here. Yeah, I know that in the Bukit Vista OKR that I'm involved in spot 3 and spot 4, but I know my capacity and I know how the way I work. I'd like to say that maybe before we start, I'd like to focus on one. Because if I got to what in this time, I can't be focused on the I'm afraid that I will fail both of them. So I think for myself and for the group, for the company too, I offer that how if I just focus on the first one on this time, but after that, maybe after I got it clear or maybe I'm getting better, then I will help or I will, and after I fix my time management,
Okay. So
maybe I could help to manage the spot, the other spot, maybe the spot 3. Because to be honest, I don't know, I don't know much about or property in spot 3 because from the first time I here, I was drilled on the spot 4, so yeah, that's my prediction.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit more time, can I get?
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah. Because when I give you an example, like when I give the squad for task, then the Pak Luki asked me to check the squad 3. Like when I did the squad 3, then asked me to check the squad 4. And from this time, I over how if I focus to one spot first until I'm getting better, maybe I can manage my time so I can help the group one.
Okay, understand Cynthia. Okay, so maybe I will ask the suggestion from Stelzing.
Cynthia, I think you need to come back with a proposal from Squad 3, from Ara and Patnuki. If this is not the place to ask that, right? Because your decision impacts Squad 3 too as well. So the best way is to ask Squad 3 if you believe that, and delegate your current air support duties to somebody on Squad 3. If I understand correctly, there's how many people are working on Squad 3 right now?
Pak Nuki, Ara, Mona, Dominic.
Okay, there's 4 people working in Squad 3, right? and we have 2 bookings a day and 1 check-in every 2 days. This is not a very hard thing to do. I just want you to go to squad 3 and figure out what is going to happen, and then come back to us and tell us, now I can join squad 4 because I've delegated that to squad 3. So this is not a discussion to have in the squad 4. This is a discussion to have to delegate, I think, to either Ara, Bona, or Dominic, or whoever is on squad 3 to look after that. I don't think it's a complicated problem. You have more than enough people on your team. You have 5 people on the team. So please suggest delegating it to somebody there, and there you could fully join squad 4.
Okay, I will try to tell Pak Nuki about that. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So I think is there still any discussion about this?
No, I will talk again with Ara this
Okay.
week.
Okay. So I think it's pretty clear. So maybe we need you. We want to follow up about your status tomorrow. Okay, Cynthia. It's great. Okay. So I think it's done for sync up today.
And perfect. We finished just on time.
Okay. So thank you for the meeting.
And meeting adjourned.
Sorry.
The meeting adjourned. Finish the meeting.
Yes,
Just say the meeting is adjourned. 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 The meeting is over.
Okay, so the meeting is over right now.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Okay.
Thank you guys.
All right. Well, let's stop the recording.